Have you ever considered how powerful your words can be? Undoubtedly, a person who knows how to use the right words at the right time makes life easier for themselves and opens the door to countless opportunities. Would you like to learn which words hold this power and when to use them? Let's dive in. 1. The hidden power of words. The words we use are like invisible architects shaping our lives. Just as a sculptor carves marble with a hammer, we shape our emotional and physical world with our words. This truth has been expressed by wise thinkers for thousands of years and is now backed by modern science. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of careful and conscious speech. As Epictetus said, "First learn the meaning of what you say and then speak." This wise advice reminds us that words are not mere sounds escaping our mouths. They are powerful tools that construct our reality and mental state. By choosing positive words, we can create a healthier atmosphere for both our inner world and our external life. Modern science demonstrates this effect with clear data. Research shows that positive expressions activate the brain's pleasure and reward centers, increasing the release of happiness-inducing chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals are known to elevate mood and provide a general sense of well-being. Thus, when we speak positively, we essentially rewire our brains for happiness. This isn't about ignoring life's challenges, but facing them with a more constructive and resilient perspective. The impact of words extends beyond our emotional world, leaving tangible effects on our bodies. A thought-provoking study by Dr. Masaru Emoto showed how thoughts influence the molecular structure of water. Considering that approximately 60% of our body is water, the idea that our words can affect our physical health becomes even more significant. When we use positive words, we foster a more harmonious and healthy internal environment. Scientific studies reveal that people who practice gratitude and use positive language have lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol and stronger immune systems. This shows that our words can protect us not only emotionally, but also physically from illness. This power also nurtures our social relationships. As Marcus Aurelius noted, "The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, and our thoughts are most concretely expressed through our words." When we choose positive and respectful communication with those around us, we strengthen bonds and create an environment of mutual support and understanding. The great Chinese philosopher Confucius summed it up: "Words are the voice of the heart." This teaching reminds us that our words have the power to heal or harm both ourselves and others. Therefore, choosing positive words is one of the most valuable investments we can make in ourselves, our surroundings, and our future. The Stoic art of virtuous speech. Imagine if every word we spoke were a seed planted in the ground, some blossoming into flowers of love and understanding, others sprouting thorns of division and conflict. For Stoics, the practice of right speech is about acting with this awareness. It's the art of speaking with intention, far beyond merely avoiding negative words. It's about actively choosing words that elevate truth, kindness, and unity, making them a way of life. The foundation of this practice lies in listening before speaking. As Epictetus wisely reminded us, nature gave us one tongue and two ears so we could listen more than we speak. This underscores that effective communication begins not with passively waiting for the other person to finish, but with an active effort to understand. By listening attentively, we grasp the situation fully before reacting impulsively or emotionally. This is the first and most crucial step in preventing misunderstandings and unnecessary conflicts. Virtuous speech is also an act of humility. Marcus Aurelius was clear on this. "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth, by which no one has ever been harmed." This perspective encourages us to see communication not as an ego battle, but as a shared quest for truth. When our goal is to reach the truth rather than to be right, our words become more constructive and unifying. This virtuous habit, like a muscle, grows stronger with consistent practice. As Aristotle noted, moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. By repeatedly speaking with kindness and honesty, this becomes an integral part of our character. Seneca also said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Every interaction is a chance to practice right speech and make a positive difference in someone's life. This Stoic teaching applies not only to our dialogue with others, but also to our inner voice. Often, we are our own harshest critics. Negative self-talk erodes our self-esteem and limits our potential without us even realizing it. Thus, the practice of right speech must begin in our own minds. By replacing our inner dialogue with constructive and compassionate words, we build inner harmony and resilience. In the modern age, these principles are vital for digital communication as well. Before writing an email, text, or social media comment, asking ourselves 3 simple questions can serve as a Stoic filter. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These questions ensure that our words in the digital world become a constructive force, building bridges rather than walls. In summary, the Stoic art of virtuous speech is a holistic discipline requiring attentive listening, humility, conscious practice, and self-awareness. By embracing these principles, we can use our words not just as tools for conveying information, but as building blocks for a more peaceful, understanding, and harmonious world for ourselves and those around us. 3. Building health and well-being with words. Words are not just tools for communication. They are powerful keys that regulate our body's internal chemistry. The right words unlock our minds, triggering biochemical responses that unleash our body's potential for self-healing and growth. When we use positive and constructive language, we literally influence our body's biology. For example, kind and affirming words promote the release of hormones like oxytocin, which reduces stress and enhances feelings of happiness. This shows that our words create tangible physiological responses beyond abstract emotions. One of the most beautiful examples of this effect is the practice of gratitude. Expressing gratitude, as often encouraged by Stoics, is like a health prescription. Scientific studies have proven that people who regularly express gratitude sleep better, have higher energy levels, and experience fewer symptoms of depression. Seneca's words capture this. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. Grateful words shift our focus from constant worries to the present moment, creating a state of mental and physical calm. The transformative power of words is evident not only in our health, but also in our success and well-being. The way we communicate directly impacts how far we progress in our careers and personal goals. A positive language not only strengthens interpersonal relationships, but also fosters a more collaborative and productive work environment. Confucius's philosophy, "Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life," aligns with how positive words and thoughts can make our approach to work more enjoyable and meaningful. In the context of personal growth, the language we use acts like a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we use positive affirmations that remind us of our abilities and potential, we train our brains to believe in that potential and act toward realizing it. This applies even when facing obstacles. A negative language portrays obstacles as insurmountable walls, while a positive one transforms them into opportunities for growth and learning. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This Stoic mindset is a resilience philosophy empowered by words. Finally, the words we use directly influence our social support network. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and optimism. Thus, using positive language expands our social circle, creating more opportunities for collaboration and mutual support. In short, consciously using positive words is not just an exercise in optimism. It's a powerful strategy for improving physical health, reducing stress, and achieving personal and professional success. As ancient sages taught, word choice is a reflection of our mind and holds the power to shape our reality. The scientific echoes of words in our brain. Imagine your brain as a dynamic, ever-changing landscape. Your thoughts and words are like rivers flowing through it, carving their own paths over time. Modern neuroscience, through the concept of neuroplasticity, proves that our brains physically reshape themselves through our experiences, particularly the language we use. When we consistently use positive language, we create stronger neural pathways for optimism and emotional resilience. new riverbeds in our brain's landscape. This process directly impacts our ability to cope with challenges. Making positive expressions and constructive affirmations a habit isn't a magical formula. It's a tangible exercise that strengthens the brain's resilience. Each constructive word reinforces the brain's networks for managing stress. Over time, the brain's default response shifts from worry and pessimism to calmness and solution-oriented thinking. This builds a more resilient mental structure, capable of standing firm against life's inevitable storms. The shaping power of words also fuels our creativity. An encouraging and supportive language shifts our brain from a fight-or-flight mode to a more open and exploratory state. As fear and anxiety diminish, our mind becomes freer to generate new ideas and innovative solutions. In a positive mental environment, the brain can make connections it previously overlooked, creating fertile ground for creativity and problem-solving. One of the strongest pieces of evidence for this effect lies in our social relationships. A Harvard University study found that people who regularly express gratitude experience greater satisfaction in their relationships and feel a stronger sense of social connection. Positive expressions like gratitude trigger empathy and understanding in others, creating a cycle of positivity. When we use positive words, the other person feels valued and responds positively, fostering mutual interaction that strengthens social bonds and promotes overall well-being for both parties. In conclusion, science now clearly confirms what ancient sages intuitively knew. Our words are not passive labels describing the world. They are powerful tools that actively shape our reality by altering the physical structure and functioning of our brains. Every word we use leaves a mark on our brain's landscape, and the sum of these marks determines the quality of our life's journey. 5. The 6 keys to human relationships. Think of human relationships as a series of doors, each unlocked by a different key: respect, trust, understanding, and progress. Here are 6 simple yet magical words that hold the power to open these doors. These words are not mere courtesies, but powerful life practices reflecting Stoic virtues, wisdom, and humanity. Please is the most fundamental expression of respect. Using it when making a request shows that you honor the other person's autonomy and dignity. It signals that you see them as a value in themselves, not a means to an end. This simple word lays the foundation for collaboration and harmony, gently opening even the toughest doors. Thank you expresses gratitude, acting like mortar that strengthens the social fabric. Saying it not only acknowledges the value of an action, but also highlights our interdependence and the importance of contributions. It encourages future cooperation and generosity, reinforcing the invisible bonds of community. "I'm sorry" is the most powerful key to repairing damaged relationships and fostering reconciliation. A sincere apology demonstrates the virtue of setting aside ego and taking responsibility. It's a bridge that closes the gap between the consequences of a mistake and the action itself, showing that we value honesty and integrity over personal rightness. Rebuilding trust. "Help me" is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and trust. Asking for help acknowledges that we don't have to do everything alone and shows courage in trusting others. As Aristotle noted, man is by nature a social animal. This word honors our social nature, fostering mutual support and a sense of community. "I understand you" opens the door to empathy and emotional connection. It doesn't mean "I agree with you," but rather, "I see your feelings and perspective." Making someone feel understood is the foundation of a healthy relationship. This phrase lowers defenses, even in tense moments, creating a safe space for genuine dialogue. "Yes" is the key to opening the door to possibilities and new experiences. It reflects a willingness to embrace the unknown and accept challenges with courage and optimism. It signifies participation rather than withdrawal from life, pushing us beyond our comfort zones to grow and evolve. By consciously incorporating these 6 keys into our daily conversations, we not only improve our communication, but also cultivate an environment of respect, gratitude, humility, collaboration, empathy, and courage. This practice has the power to transform both our personal relationships and our worldview. 6. The alchemy of words and mental clarity. Picture your mind as an alchemical laboratory, where raw metals like worry, doubt, and confusion can be transformed into valuable gold, like confidence, peace, and clarity. The magical formula for this transformation lies in the words we use. Practicing positive and kind language not only shapes our social interactions, but fundamentally alters our brain's chemistry and functioning. The first step in this alchemy is calming inner storms. The amygdala, our brain's fear center, goes into alert mode when it perceives a threat. Constantly using negative or anxious language keeps this alarm ringing. In contrast, using calming and constructive language teaches the amygdala to regulate its overreactions. This goes beyond temporarily reducing stress. It trains our brain to remain calm and respond to challenges more balancedly. This process also reshapes our self-esteem. Negative self-talk is like acid corroding our spirit, weakening even the strongest character over time. Positive and affirming words act as a protective shield, creating a foundation for building solid self-worth. By habitually addressing ourselves with words that remind us of our strengths and value, we create an internally resilient identity, less dependent on external validation. The most valuable outcome of this transformative power is mental clarity. Vague, negative, or chaotic language creates constant mental noise, making focus impossible. In contrast, consciously chosen clear and constructive words silence this noise. This mental quiet allows us to organize our thoughts more effectively and focus fully on the tasks at hand. As Seneca said, "To me, the surest proof of a well-ordered mind is a person's ability to pause and spend time with themselves." This clarity opens the door to that ability. This inner harmony and clarity inevitably reflect in our social relationships. A person with a calm and clear inner world radiates that energy outward. Kind and constructive words build trust and empathy in relationships because people are naturally drawn to authentic positivity. Studies show that couples who use appreciative and supportive language experience higher satisfaction and longevity in their relationships, proving that positive communication creates a resonance of positivity. In conclusion, mastering the alchemy of words is not just about feeling better. It's a conscious act of rewiring our brains, reducing anxiety, strengthening self-esteem, and enhancing mental clarity. By embracing this practice, we can transform life's raw metals into a shining future in our mental laboratory. Virtuous 7. The guiding light of truth. Life's journey can sometimes feel like navigating a foggy, confusing terrain. Yet, there is a compass that keeps us from losing our way, always pointing toward virtue and integrity. Truth. In Stoic philosophy, honesty reflects a commitment to personal integrity and truth. Even when it's difficult, being honest builds trust and clarity in our relationships. But truth is a double-edged sword. It can heal or destroy depending on how it's wielded. Thus, honesty must never be confused with harshness. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. The goal is not to use truth as a weapon to hurt feelings, but as a surgeon's scalpel to heal wounds. True mastery lies in balancing the need for sincerity with sensitivity to others' well-being, delivering truth with compassion. For this compass to work, we must first look inward. Personal growth begins with self-honesty. As Seneca wisely noted, those who suffer before it's necessary suffer more than necessary. Avoiding the truth about our fears, weaknesses, or mistakes leads to greater pain in the long run. Honest self-assessment allows us to identify areas for growth, fostering genuine and sustainable progress. Honesty is also the foundation of all meaningful relationships. Without trust, no genuine bond can form. Being honest with others shows respect and signals that we value the relationship enough to be authentic. As Confucius said, "The superior man is modest in his speech but excels in his actions." Consistency between our words and actions nurtures an environment of mutual trust and respect. Living with truth makes us more resilient to external influences. As Epictetus warned, anyone who can make you angry becomes your master. Living honestly and with principle makes us less vulnerable to others' manipulations or emotional games. True power, as Marcus Aurelius said, lies not in external events but in our own minds. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In conclusion, following the guiding light of truth requires courage, empathy, and self-awareness. By placing this compass at the center of our lives, we not only build trust and clarity, but also cultivate inner integrity and unshakable peace. The path may be challenging, but the destination, an authentic life, is well worth the effort. 38. The art of healing and reconciliation. Human relationships can be likened to a carefully tended garden. Conflicts and misunderstandings are like storms that ravage this garden, leaving broken branches and hurt feelings. Yet even after the fiercest storm, with the right tools and patient effort, the garden can be restored to be stronger and more beautiful than before. Healing and reconciling words are the most valuable tools in this repair process. The first step is preparing the garden's soil, listening without judgment. Creating a safe space where the other person feels truly heard lays the fertile ground for healing. This is more than staying silent. It's an active effort to validate the other person's feelings and experiences. Next, the garden must be cleared of toxic weeds, symbolized by a sincere apology. As Seneca said, "To err is human, but to persist in error is diabolical." A heartfelt apology is not admitting defeat, but an act of uprooting ego and pride for the garden's health. It demonstrates that we take responsibility not only for our intentions, but also for the impact of our actions. Once the ground is cleared, it's time to plant new seeds through honest yet constructive dialogue. Here, using compassionate communication rather than accusatory language is vital. A four-step approach can help. First, observe the situation neutrally, like a camera. Then, express the emotion it evoked using I statements. Next, identify the universal need behind the emotion: trust, respect, or understanding. Finally, make a specific, kind request to meet that need. As Confucius said, "Sincerity is the way of heaven." This honest and open communication is the purest form of sincerity. Lastly, to revive the garden, let the sunlight in. Forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean approving or forgetting a wrong. It's about releasing the burden of resentment and anger, freeing our own spirit. It allows the dark clouds of the past to dissipate, letting the relationship be nourished by sunlight again. Aristotle's saying, "Friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies," captures the ultimate goal of this process. Not just returning to the status quo, but rebuilding a relationship with deeper understanding and stronger bonds after the storm. The most beautiful gardens are those that survive storms and are lovingly repaired. 9. Growing together and the spirit of sharing. Picture a community as a forest of trees connected by their roots. A single tree is vulnerable to storms, but together, they support each other, share nutrients, and create a resilient ecosystem where the entire forest thrives. The strength of a network or community comes from this mutual interaction. Individual talents gain meaning when they serve a collective purpose. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This means individual success cannot be separated from the community's well-being. Acting with this awareness replaces competition with collaboration, highlighting how vital each member's contribution is to the whole. The most fertile soil in this forest is the free flow of knowledge. As Seneca noted, "We learn by teaching." When experienced members guide newcomers and newcomers offer fresh perspectives, a dynamic learning cycle emerges that nourishes everyone. Marcus Aurelius captured the essence of this sharing spirit. "The only wealth you'll keep forever is the wealth you give away." Sharing knowledge and experience generously enriches both the community and the giver. Confucius immortalized this philosophy. "If you plan for a lifetime, educate people." For such an ecosystem to thrive, a positive climate is essential, created through gratitude and appreciation. When members' contributions, no matter how small, are valued, they feel important and integral to the ecosystem. This fosters participation, and a sense of belonging. Making community activities engaging and enjoyable further reinforces this positive climate. Ultimately, a community's true wealth lies not in grand achievements, but in celebrating small victories and the members' interconnectedness. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In this context, a community's true treasure is not material wealth, but the spirit of shared growth and solidarity. Aristotle's idea that happiness comes from a virtuous life finds meaning here. Living virtuously means sharing generously, supporting one another, and growing together as part of a community. By actively participating in a community, sharing knowledge, and supporting each other, we transform from solitary trees into a thriving, living forest, capable of withstanding any storm and reaching greater heights together. If you've made it this far, I know you're different from the majority. In a world where most people waste time with superficial distractions, you're seeking knowledge and wisdom. Show your uniqueness and join us on this journey of wisdom. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to let us know you're part of this community. Until the next video, stay stoic and stay strong.